Mary Ann O'Flaherty was born outside of Galway, Ireland on February 15, 1906, to a very large and very poor working-class family. Her parents were Seamus and Ellen O'Flaherty, and she was close to her three sisters, Dorothy, Sabina, and Nora. When Mary reached her early 20s, she, like so many other young single Irish women at this time, decided to leave her homeland and immigrate to America in search of economic opportunity. Mary's family was a farming family, and though she lived well past the years of the famine, the fickle nature of farming still made her financial situation tenuous. The land made it difficult to grow anything other than potatoes, and it wasn't uncommon for crops to spoil one season and cause economic stress on entire communities.
Everybody at the time left Ireland if they possibly could because it was poverty-stricken. The ground was rocks. They couldn't grow much. It was a terrible place to be living. Climate was bad. The land was barren.
There was little economic mobility, and Mary opted to leave that situation in the hopes that America would be more forgiving. When she was just 26 years old, she moved to Boston, Massachusetts, and became a U.S. citizen on March 31, 1933, dropping the O off her last name in the process. She and two sisters traveled together, while Nora, the oldest, remained in Ireland and inherited the family home. Though the early 30s were the peak of the Great Depression in America, there was always demand in the wealthiest households for ladies' maids. Between 15 and 20% of all employed women at this time worked in domestic service, and more than 70% of all those in domestic service were Irish natives. The slang for the job was Bridget, a name which caught on because of the stereotypical Irish women who applied. In 1884, a report from Donegal, Ireland actually reported a shortage of domestic servants there because so many women were immigrating to America for work instead of staying in Ireland. Immigrants in the early 20th century faced all forms of discrimination from native-born Americans. As more and more Irish women filled the wealthy mansions of the upper class as domestic servants, the position soon had the connotation of being for uneducated, classless women. One native-born woman wrote in the New York Times that a great many very ignorant girls can get housework to do, but a girl who has been used to neatness and refinement of a good home does not like a girl who has just come from Ireland and does not have any idea what neatness means. There was some basis for these accusations. Certainly the distrust and judgment that these women faced from strangers was unwarranted, but the living situations that the Irish came from could not have been more different than the living situations of the people they worked for in America. Many of these Irish women, including Mary, came from homes with no running water and only one floor. Now these women worked in mansions on the Upper East Side, handling property worth many times the worth of their humble Irish homes. The clash of different classes made life in America more confusing and led to sticky social situations. One particular story from Mary sticks out.
That she was kind of, ignorant to the ways of how high-end houses worked. So he said to me, well, poor Mary, the poor thing. He'd always say, the poor thing, because she'd have a tray of sherry glasses, and she was supposed to serve them, and she dropped the tray, and she was so scared that she would get fired that she swept the glass up and buried it outside, because she didn't want anyone to find out.
But despite the hardships and difficult adjustments, Mary found great success in America. Her husband worked as a trolley conductor, and she settled into a neighborhood with many other Irish friends from home. She was affectionately known as Mary Red because of her beautiful red hair, and quickly assimilated into a comfortable American life, though she did maintain certain Irish traditions.
The primary motivation in her life was the church. She was a devout Catholic, and so the holy days, the fasting, all the rules down the line. When she married my father, she required him to become a Catholic. So he had to take instruction from the priest, pass the tests, and was a lifelong Catholic. And never missed a Sunday Mass ever after that. We were all brought up as Catholics.
She had her favorite swear words. Cac merde on toast, she would say, which is bullshit on toast.
Mostly, though, Mary Red kept Ireland alive by sharing stories and memories from her days there.
She actually said too that because I've always asked her a lot of questions about her heritage, I was the only one of the grandchildren who ever did. And actually, she gave me this necklace. And she said it was the lady at the big house gave her this necklace. And she passed it on to me. It's not necessarily worth a lot of money, but it does have sentimental value to me. And I always kept it because it was part of her past.
So fill to me the parting glass.
And this, of course, is the classic immigrant mentality for so many young women like Mary. They knew leaving their homeland was the best choice for them, but they never quite left their Irish history behind. Despite damaging stereotypes and class struggles with the wealthy class, Mary did not give up. Though I never met my great-grandmother, I know her decision to come to this country made my life possible, and I am grateful every day for that.
And all the sweethearts that ever